So today I'm unboxing the Heller 143rd Benetton and Ferrari kits. Both of these were second hand, so I don't actually have the complete box for the Ferrari, and as you can see the Benetton has seen better days. So we'll have a look at what's inside. The Ferrari F187 was piloted by Alboreto and Gerhard Berger in both seasons. It won 3 races overall, including the only race won by a car other than the McLaren MP44 in 1988, helping Berger to third in that championship. So, Ferrari, we've got parts, one of them's fallen off the sprue, and we've got instructions and decals in here. So you can see we've got the in colour versions of the instructions for the Ferrari. You can see the wheels go together just like the other versions of this kit. You've got the chassis here, which mainly needs to be black with a little bit of red down here. Then the bodywork is slightly different on this one because the nose cone is actually attached to the front wing, so that needs to be painted separately. You've got the driver figure here, needs to be going into the seat, steering wheel like so, and then you've got the rear wing, and then you've got those intakes and the roll bar over the top. Then got decal instructions over here. Very simple decals on this kit. So the red sprue here, a bit of flash, a little bit of damage here. You can see larger sort of intakes to cool the rear brakes. That's a nice feature. Rear spoiler, intakes, roll hoop, and the floor, which comes with the lower wishbone and the seats, and the front nose, the nose and the front wing, I should say, will go on like so. So that will need to be painted red and black, masked, not too complicated, fairly well moulded. A little bit of flash, but not too much. Then in this bag we have this sprue, which is the same on all of these 143rd F1 kits. Got the wheels, which are solid, so no interior spokes in there. And then you've got the driver figure and the steering wheel. And then you've got the axles, which are kind of brassy, coppery kind of metal. And then you've got the tyres, which look like they need to be a bit cleaned up. In fact, they've been removed from the sprue, which they hadn't on some of the other kits. So yeah, tyres need to be cleaned. Now, as I said, this one was bought second hand, and it meant that the previous owner had actually started to use some of the decals. So you can see here that it's missing all the tyre decals for some reason, but I've got 2 versions of these ones, sort of traditional sponsors for the late 80s, so Agip fuels, not sure that's how you pronounce it actually, you know, the smaller Marlboro logos, and you've only got decals for Gerhard Berger with number 28. For this one, I think Alboreto was the other car, and to go with those I bought some 143rd 80s Goodyear F1 Eagle decals from Indicals. And these will come in handy on the next kit as well. Then with the Benetton, as you can see, the B187 was Benetton's second car since they bought Tolman in 1985. The BMW engines were replaced with factory support from Ford Cosworth, whilst they started using Mobil fuels and replaced the Pirelli tyres with Goodyear. Kit, so we've got that bag, we've got, oh gosh, this box probably needs to be replaced. Got those parts, and got the decals and instructions in there. So firstly, as you can see, the car is moulded in yellow, which I have to say seems like an odd choice when you consider that the car itself, and you can only kind of see it there, is actually only really yellow on these sort of air intakes here. So you've got blue here, you've got green on the nose, you've got red sort of going up there. So it's yeah, very much in the United Colours of Benetton stage. But yeah, a nicely moulded body there. You can see this is quite different to the shape of the other cars. You had the intakes there behind the cockpit. rear wing with this sort of distinct sort of curve, and similarly here on the front wing. I think these are more sort of like intakes. Not sure where they go. We'll find out, I suppose. And then you've got the floor there with the lower halves of the chassis. Got the roll hoop there. Not sure, does this one have any wing mirrors? Maybe it doesn't. That's unusual, because that's the first of these kits that I've seen that doesn't come with wing mirrors. Bit of a shame. Then in this bag you've got exactly the same stuff as in the Ferrari. So you've got the wheels and driver here. Bit of flash there on the feet, but not too bad. These tyres are attached to the sprue. As I say before, a little bit of cleanup needed on there, because these are over 30 years old, presumably. And the copper brassy wheel axles. Got the instructions here, so it would have been useful to have these in colour because Benetton have unusual colours. So you can see, starting with the wheels, then the chassis. So you need to use the Heller codes, which are the same as Humbrol. So 85 I know is black, 2 I believe is green. 2 is green. So it says you only need to paint green on this one. I guess it means to use decals. So you've got the driver there, bodywork there, front spoiler, rear spoiler, and you've got those extensions to those intakes there. So yeah, no wing mirrors on this one. And then you've got decal instructions here. So this one, as I said before, is a lot more complicated with the colours and shapes and so forth. Unfortunately, the decals have not survived particularly well. You can see quite a lot of damage on these, water damage. This was bought second-hand, just like the others. So I suppose what they originally wanted you to do was to use the decals for the blue and the red parts, use the bare yellow plastic and colour the rest of it green. Now, I will be painting this, but obviously I'll need to get some new decals for it as well, which is a shame. Because I don't think these are that easily produced, but obviously I would reuse the tyre decals as well. So I think the Ferrari is probably the easiest of these Heller kits because it's a very simple colour scheme, and I'd say that the Benetton is probably the most challenging. But there we are. Let me know what you think, which you would like to see me build next, and I'll see you soon.